Hi, I'm City Councilman Henry Wade, the City of Maricopa, and I am having a conversation today with InMaricopa, and very much appreciated. Thank you. I'm married, and I'm right currently. We're a blended family, so I have three sons. Two that live here now. One's just moving back from Texas, and one lives in Colorado. And they're twins, so Texas and Colorado. So that's a lot of fun. And then I am currently raising my two grandsons. One's 18, be graduating from Maricopa High School this year, and then one that's 11. And he's over at Saddleback Elementary. Oh, exhilarating. People will, of course, always ask you, well, what's the vice mayor do? What does that mean? So I said, well, when the mayor is too busy to go here or go there, then he calls up and says, hey, can you take care of this for me? Or are you going to do that? But at the same token, too, there was a little bit of not a separation, but just a little bit of a little bump, if you will, amongst the community when you're vice mayor, or of course mayor, but vice mayor versus a council member. What was most amusing to me, though, is that when I came off of being vice mayor, people thought I was leaving the council as well. So why are you leaving? No, I'm not going anywhere. So, man, it's great the way the system is established, because you get an opportunity to serve as vice mayor in that capacity for a year, and then we, among our peers, and it's a peers, just make the selection, which is, very encouraging, and so very supportive. And so it was a unanimous decision when I was selected as vice mayor. I thought, again, I was very humbled and respected that decision. When we were deciding on whether or not you could carry guns in public places, that was the most difficult decision for me. I was very distraught with the decision that was the eventual outcome, because I felt like people didn't come out and express their views well enough to be able to give council a little more room in terms of the decision. So it was kind of a slam dunk on the other side. So I was disappointed in that, man, just because people didn't come out and say anything. But I don't know. We live in a fairly conservative community, I would say, and so I would say that probably the lion's share of people would be in favor of allowing that to happen. I think it's really the minority that feels like they don't have the power to push it away, and so they don't come. But as it turns out, and as I came to understand from going through the issue and talking to people afterwards, it was really on the fence. There were a couple of council members that were really on the fence about it, and so had the people come out and shown more support, I think, for council in that regard, at least those of us who were wanting to vote against that. I just don't quite get it. I'm a gun owner. I'm a retired military. I don't have a problem with weapons and having them around if necessary. But I have a difficult time understanding why you need a 9mm in the library with a bunch of kids. I'm not sure where the splits are. I'm not sure, thank you very much for allowing this time here, because this is the time that I use to be able to do some things, but I don't think I'm at the 70 plus like the mayor is, because I have a 40 plus somewhere else, but I'm about 40, 45, I put in the time, and then again, having a partner like Gail is just, I couldn't do half the things to do without her. It's priceless having her there. To be able to satisfy my public service bug, my commitment. It's what I didn't talk about earlier as far as my background is concerned. And most people know I'm retired Air Force. I spent 20 years, 27 days in the Air Force. And throughout that time, I learned and honed those skills of public service and supporting the community and being involved, being engaged. And so, I think that's what it is. It gives me an opportunity to give back, to do something. I grew up in Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles, and uh, a very famous corner, Florence and Normandy, was one block from where I grew up. Graduated from Crenshaw High School, South Central, and so that was back in. I graduated from high school in 1973. So the things that I experienced with the watch riots in '68, and then watched things happen, throughout the different things. Rodney King, I was not in there during Rodney King. Actually, I was here watching it on CNN, and my mother, who was a block away from all the activities, was talking. I was talking to her on the phone, and so when she was hearing the glass breaking and the sirens and the helicopters and all that, she was within a block away from where these things were taking place, and so. That's my background, and I don't shy away from it. I'm very proud of where I grew up and where I came from. But I also want to be able to contribute in a positive way to the community that I live in. So this gives me an opportunity to do that. Growing up in South Central, I got a few skills out of there, that I learned, and sometimes folks don't even know. Someone will say something, and they don't have a clue as to how I got honed to be the person that I am, both growing up in LA, to being a part of the Air Force, starting my own business when I retired from the Air Force, started a real estate company, a real estate appraisal company. People don't know. I think it's just a level, it's just respect. Just respect the fact that we're all in this together. We're all Americans. We're all Maricopians. We're all Arizonians. But I'm going to say something, and Gail's going to kill me, but I'm going to say it, and hope it makes it. As I said, we live in fairly conservative, but there are people still in this community that still use the term colored when referring to Black people. That insults me. And if this makes that, I want to say I love you, but don't use that term to describe Black people. That is something that is abrasive and is insulting to Black people. And I think that maybe, no one's ever said that and shared that. So I'm sharing it, so that you'll know, that's where it's at. So that the council could work together to get things done. The overpass is an example. I'm hopeful that the community is observing and paying attention to the beautification of Maricopa. That the cleanup. The city manager has been, an advocate, a staunch advocate to make sure that the community looks good when people come through, and I like that. As we did the overpass, all the things that were discovered, the little junk places that people were hiding things, all came out, because now here you are, thousands of feet, hundreds of feet in the air, and you can see all these different things, So, I'm happy to see us grow and prosper. It's a great little town. I mean, what we're 18 years old now, so still teenagers, but we can compete with some of the biggest. We just completed our strategic planning session here last week, and briefing from the city manager on our financial position. We're doing pretty good for a little bitty city like this. So people are looking. I remember a time where it was kind of a desert. Nobody was looking at Maricopa. We weren't getting developers and investors looking at Maricopa. And then we were going to the trade shows to try to encourage people to come out and see Maricopa, and it's come to pass, and we're prospering from it. City manager, I think that was one of our best hires since I've been on council. We have a city manager that is engaged, that's intelligent, that's creative, and lives here. He's vested, So when you look at that, you look at the council, and you look at the city, the people who are involved in running the city, we're vested in this community, and so I think that's important.